Hi, everybody. Today we're talking about 3 ways to improve your energy using nutrition. And there are a lot of things that can affect your energy. I get it. But today we're just focusing on 3 big nutrition pieces. We're going to talk about this and something you might be drinking that could be affecting your energy. We're going to talk about the mitochondria, what that is, why it's important. I'm going to show you some charts and what foods to support the mitochondria. We're going to talk about hormones. And I think you're going to get a lot out of this video. So I'm Ashley Oswald. I'm a functional medicine dietitian specializing in gut health and founder of Oswald Digestive Clinic, where we help people improve and eliminate bothersome gut issues like gas, bloat, diarrhea, constipation, and more. If you want to become a client at our clinic, I will share a link below. And if you want to download our free guide, I will also share that here, 5 ways to improve gut health and end food intolerances for good. So without further ado, let's dive right in and talk about ways to improve your energy. So number 1 is support your mitochondria. The human body has trillions of mitochondria. They're in the cells, which are the basic building blocks of the body. So you can think of the body as a Lego house, say, and each Lego is a cell, and inside each of those cells is a mitochondria. And a healthy mitochondria is needed for the production of neurochemicals like dopamine and serotonin. So another way of saying that is if your mitochondria is unhealthy, you could be experiencing fatigue and depression and other mood swings. So you might remember the citric acid cycle, otherwise known as the Krebs cycle, from grade school, probably high school. And this is the whole cascade of how you turn fats, carbohydrates, and proteins into ATP, which is energy. And so I'm going to show a picture of that here because I want you to see how many nutrients we need to support this energy production cycle. And so the food categories that you're going to want to focus on for this include foods rich in iron and carnitine and magnesium and B vitamins and CoQ10. And by eating a real whole foods eating plan, you're going to be more likely to be getting enough of those nutrients that you need. However, sometimes your body might have an increased demand, like we've talked about in other videos. If you're undergoing a lot of chronic stress, your body might be using up more magnesium. And this is a reason why a lot of people do have low magnesium stores. So doing micronutrient testing is usually helpful. So we can megadose replace for about 4 to 6 months. Our clinic can help with that if you're interested. Foods that are rich in these nutrients include meats. You can be careful where you're sourcing. So it's really good quality meats, especially organs. So like having liver once or twice a week can really help with that iron. It can help with that CoQ10 and that carnitine. The magnesium you're going to get from like nuts and seeds and green leafy vegetables and beans. And then B vitamins come from a variety of different plant foods. So you can think of making half your plate plants. And if you are following a no meat eating plan, you might want to touch base with our clinic about that because you might be at risk for having low levels of certain nutrients depending upon, honestly, your genetics. Some people do fine eating vegan for many years. I was vegetarian, mostly vegan for about 7 years in my 20s and ended up feeling terrible and had to incorporate meat again because my body needed those nutrients that I just was not able to get, and it was not working 100% to just try to supplement those pieces, and likely based upon my Northern European genetics. So number 2 nutrition way to improve energy will be supporting your thyroid properly. I'm going to show a graph for this as well. And you can see it, this whole thyroid hormone cascade. And it requires different lifestyle nutrition adjustments to make sure that these hormones are properly getting converted into their active form. And interestingly, thyroid hormones have actually been found to be major regulators of energy at the mitochondrial level. So it's all tying together. The human body is one and whole, right? So I have this chart pulled up and I'm going to just walk you through some of these components. So that T4 hormone to get converted into the T3, reverse T3 that can then get into the cell and support that mitochondrial energy, you're going to want to and need those nutrients, so similar nutrients that you need for proper mitochondrial health: iron, iodine, tyrosine, zinc, selenium, vitamin E, B2, B3, B6, C, D. Micronutrient testing, again, is like best to really check what's your cellular level are of those nutrients. Sometimes you can just supplement with a really comprehensive powder and just see if you feel better. Not medical advice. I can't possibly know what's going on with your medical history. So anything on this channel is just tips, and for personalized advice, you can see our clinic. Then factors that can increase the conversion of T4 to reverse T3, you can see listed there is stress, trauma, low calorie diet can negatively impact energy. Inflammation, toxins, infection, liver kidney dysfunction, and then certain medications too. I've talked in other videos of Mitavin, Mitavin, that you can look up and see what possible negative nutrient side effects your medications might be having on you to help piece together the puzzle a little bit. And then the nutrients needed to get those hormones into the cell are listed on the bottom right there. So vitamin A, zinc, and exercise can help support those hormones actually getting to where they need to go. Right above that, you see the factors that can increase the conversion of T4 to T3, which is the selenium and the zinc nutrients. And then above that, factors that can inhibit proper production of thyroid hormones would be stress and infection and trauma and fluoride and toxins, so like heavy metals, and autoimmune diseases like celiac disease. So thyroid health is really a deep topic, but I hope this shines a little bit of light for you. And then number 3 way to increase energy with nutrition is to cut out the caffeine to try to improve your sleep. And I know some of you might be thinking, caffeine doesn't affect my sleep. I can drink coffee at 6 p.m. and my sleep is fine. And you might still want to do like a 1 to 2 week caffeine holiday, because you might be surprised by how subtly that may still be affecting the depth of your sleep, and just see if that helps with your energy. So even just a week would be great. Don't go cold turkey. You're probably going to get headaches if you've been drinking a lot of caffeine. So kind of taper it down. You could switch to like decaf tea, what I have here, just from a filtered straw is how I drink my tea. I also have heard of people, and I've done this myself, switch from coffee to like yerba mate in the morning. Yerba mate still has caffeine, but it could kind of be a tapered approach. If you just like the taste of coffee, which I also totally get, you could do half decaf, half regular, taper down that way, and just see how much better you might be sleeping. You might notice that you can start going to bed at the same time every night, and you wake up at the same time in the morning without an alarm. And also try to get into that rhythm. Try to support your body in that rhythm by trying to go to bed at the same time, because you'll find once you do this, it will become easier. And then certainly, as is very obvious, right? If we are getting adequate sleep, we're going to notice an improvement in our mood and our energy. One thing about caffeine that I want to show you is this image here. And before we talk about this chart, I do want to make sure you understand that coffee is not a bad food. It's actually very rich in antioxidants. There's a lot of health benefits to it. It can actually be the main source of antioxidants, which are these like disease-fighting nutrients in somebody's diet. But if it's negatively impacting sleep, certainly sleep is such a priority. So if we look here, you can see if you have 1 cup of coffee, about 100 milligrams of caffeine at 9 a.m., 1 at 12 p.m., 1 at 3 p.m., you still have about 70 milligrams, so about 3/4 of a cup of coffee in your system by time it's 11 p.m. for bedtime, and you still have a little bit of caffeine in your system when you wake up at 6 a.m. So sure, you might be overriding it, but again, it might be impacting the quality of your sleep. So 1 to 2 week caffeine holidays, see how you feel, start reintroducing it, and everybody's different. So just intuitively listen to your body and listen to how that's influencing you. So the 3 things we have was support your mitochondria, support your thyroid, and then support your sleep. Again, you can schedule with our clinic, link below. We do accept some health insurances, which is very exciting. Some of our clients get full coverage, or you can just download our free guide, 5 ways to improve gut health and end food intolerances for good. Thanks for being here. I'll see you on next week's video, and I hope you have a great day.